Jesus and his disciples were walking through the busy streets of Jerusalem when they noticed a man who had been blind since birth. Every day he sat beside the road, listening to the footsteps of strangers and depending on the kindness of those who passed by. While many people ignored him, Jesus stopped and looked upon him with deep compassion. His disciples quietly wondered why this man had been born blind, believing that such suffering must surely have a reason according to human understanding. Jesus gently answered that the man's blindness was not caused by his own sin or the sins of his parents. Instead, this moment would reveal the works and glory of God. As more people gathered to listen, Jesus reminded his disciples that the works of the Father must be done while it was still day. His words brought hope to those who had almost forgotten that God still cared for the broken and the forgotten. Jesus knelt upon the dusty ground and made mud with the earth and his saliva. With great care, he placed the mud over the blind man's eyes before giving him a simple instruction. He told the man to go and wash in the pool of Siloam. Without hesitation, the blind man trusted Jesus completely. Though he could not yet see, faith led every step as he carefully made his way through the crowded streets toward the pool. People watched with curiosity as the blind man slowly walked toward the pool of Siloam. Some whispered among themselves, wondering whether anything would truly happen. Others simply observed in silence. Reaching the water, the man bent down and gently washed the mud from his eyes. In that unforgettable moment, darkness disappeared. For the very first time in his life, he opened his eyes and saw the world filled with light. Overwhelmed with joy, the man looked around in amazement. He saw the flowing water, the bright sky above him, the faces of people, and the beauty of God's creation for the very first time. His heart overflowed with gratitude as tears filled his eyes. Those who had known him for years could hardly believe what they were seeing. The miracle spread quickly throughout Jerusalem as people began asking how such an impossible thing had happened. News of the miracle spread rapidly through the city. Neighbors and people who had often seen the blind man begging could hardly believe their eyes. Some insisted that he was the very same man they had known for years, while others argued that he only looked like him. Standing confidently before them, the man simply replied, "I am the man." Filled with excitement, the crowd surrounded him, eager to learn how his sight had been restored and who had performed such an extraordinary miracle. The man explained that Jesus had made mud, placed it on his eyes, and told him to wash in the pool of Siloam. He obeyed without hesitation, and after washing, he received his sight. The people listened with amazement, but many wanted to know where Jesus was. The healed man honestly answered that he did not know. Even without seeing Jesus again, his life had already been completely transformed by the miracle he had experienced. Because the miracle had taken place on the Sabbath, the people brought the healed man before the Pharisees. The religious leaders questioned him carefully, asking again and again how he had received his sight. Calmly, the man repeated exactly what had happened. He spoke with honesty and confidence, hiding nothing. Yet, instead of celebrating the miracle, many Pharisees began debating among themselves, more concerned about their traditions than the wonderful work God had just performed before everyone's eyes. Some of the Pharisees argued that Jesus could not be from God because he had healed on the Sabbath. Others questioned how a sinner could possibly perform such remarkable signs. Their disagreement grew stronger as they searched for an explanation that matched their own beliefs. Turning once more to the healed man, they asked what he thought about Jesus. Without fear, he answered simply, "He is a prophet," believing that only a man sent by God could perform such a miracle. Still refusing to believe, the religious leaders called for the man's parents. They asked whether this was truly their son and whether he had really been born blind. His parents confirmed that he was indeed their son and that he had lived without sight since birth. However, afraid of the religious authorities, they avoided speaking further. They simply said that their son was now an adult and should answer the questions for himself, leaving the leaders no closer to denying the miracle. Pharisees summoned the man once again and urged him to deny what had happened. They insisted that Jesus could not be from God and demanded that he give glory to God instead. The healed man remained calm before the religious leaders. With quiet calm replied, "Either not know. One thing I do know. I was blind, But now I see. His simple testimony carried a power that no argument could erase. For his transformed life stood before everyone as undeniable evidence of the miracle. Unsatisfied with his answer, the Pharisees questioned him again, asking exactly what Jesus had done and how he had opened his eyes. The man grew weary of repeating the same story. Looking directly at them, he replied that he had already told them everything, yet they refused to listen. Then he asked with quiet boldness, "Why do you want to hear it again? Do you also want to become his disciples?" His unexpected question filled the room with silence before anger quickly took its place. The religious leaders mocked the healed man and declared themselves to be disciples of Moses. They claimed to know where Moses had come from, but rejected Jesus because they believed his authority was uncertain. The healed man answered with remarkable wisdom. He wondered how they could fail to recognize the one who had restored his sight. Never before had anyone heard of a man born blind receiving sight. Surely, he reasoned, if Jesus were not from God, he could do nothing at all. The words of the healed man deeply offended the Pharisees. Unable to answer his testimony, they attacked his character instead. They accused him of being completely born in sin and declared that he had no right to teach them. Refusing to accept either the miracle or the truth he spoke, they cast him out from their presence. Though rejected by men, the man walked away with something far greater than acceptance. He now possessed both physical sight and a growing faith in the one who had healed him. When Jesus heard that the healed man had been cast out, he went to find him. The Good Shepherd never abandoned those who placed their trust in him. Meeting the man once again, Jesus gently asked, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" The man, eager to know the truth, replied with humility, "Who is he, sir, that I may believe in him?" His heart was ready to receive not only the gift of sight, but the far greater gift of eternal faith. Jesus looked upon the man with kindness and said, "You have now seen the one speaking with you at that moment in clear." The man realized that the one who had restored his physical sight was also the promised Messiah. Filled with gratitude and overwhelming joy, he answered, "Lord, I believe." Then he bowed before Jesus in worship. His journey was complete. He had received not only the miracle of sight, but also the priceless gift of knowing and believing in the Son of God. Standing before those nearby, Jesus declared that he had come into the world so that the blind might see, and those who believed they could already see might recognize their own blindness. His words reached far beyond physical vision. They revealed a deeper truth about every human heart. Some people eagerly accepted God's light with humility, while others rejected it because pride prevented them from seeing the truth that stood before their very eyes.
It's a miracle.
Several Pharisees who were standing nearby heard these words and asked Jesus, "Surely we are not blind, are we?" Their question revealed confidence in their own understanding. Jesus answered that if they truly recognized their blindness, they would seek God's mercy and receive forgiveness, because they claimed that they already saw everything clearly while rejecting God's truth. They remained responsible for their unbelief. Spiritual pride had become a far greater darkness than physical blindness.
There is
The
nothing
miracle
to
of the
see
man born
here.
blind became much more
The
than the
miracle
restoration
is
of
false.
eyesight. It revealed the compassion of Jesus, the power of God, and the difference between humble faith and hardened hearts. While many questioned and argued, one simple man experienced both healing and salvation because he trusted the voice of Jesus. His story reminds every generation that God's greatest miracle is not only opening blind eyes, but opening hearts that are willing to believe. The miracle of the man born blind became much more than the restoration of eyesight. It revealed the compassion of Jesus, the power of God, and the difference between humble faith and hardened hearts. While many questioned and argued, one simple man experienced both healing and salvation because he trusted the voice of Jesus. His story reminds every generation that God's greatest miracle is not only opening blind eyes, but opening hearts that are willing to believe.